on my YouTube. So you can rejoin my YouTube now. Okay? Sorry about that, everybody. I seem happy today. Well, I am, as long as I don't have to yell at people in my audience, but occasionally I have to yell at somebody. Somebody who doesn't know when they're not acting appropriately. Yeah. What about me? What do I eat, Lydia? If you're asking about food, in the mornings, I usually don't eat a lot. I have coffee and some pistachios, 开心果, and then for lunch and dinner, I don't usually have a regular set of food that I eat. I cook a lot, so I cook a lot of different things. So whatever I feel like cooking, that's what I cook. I have to go to the store later to find out what I'm going to cook for dinner tonight. Oh, well, actually, we have leftover pizza, so we might just eat some leftover pizza tonight. What was the best memory in my childhood? Probably the best memory in my childhood was playing out in the woods. I had many, many memories of playing in the woods with my friends. We would just run around and go hiking and find new things and explore things. And it was great. I really loved going just out into the woods. Clay had to go. He only has time to be here early in the morning for a couple of hours, but then he has to go to work. Yikes. Yeah, Teacher Mike, yeah, I don't know if you were here for that earlier, but there was a guy on my YouTube channel who has now been muted permanently, who for the last couple of days has been constantly asking questions that are not questions. You know, it's someone who's looking for a platform to say what they think everybody should do. You know, and they specifically were talking about sexuality and Western influence over things and all this, and it just had inappropriate and yeah, it had inappropriate written all over it, and I asked them several times not to do that, and they continued. So now they have been removed. Or, unfortunately, I guess on YouTube, you can't just remove somebody. You just, it says, like, mute their comments, right? So if they do make comments, nobody will see them anymore. And then they thought it was funny because my stream, you know, because I hit a button and my stream lost the camera. So they thought it was a funny joke to say, oh, it's karma because you weren't taking my questions and talking about what I want to talk about. And no, man, no, I'm not going to let you think that you're all smart and witty. Nope. That's not going to happen. So, you know, they were saying that your job as a teacher should be to encourage positivity or morality. And you're right, and I do. But they wanted to talk about specifically sexual morality. Do I need to say why that's a completely inappropriate subject to be talking about on a live stream on YouTube or Hello Talk? Do I need to say that? Especially since I just had an 11-year-old girl on my stage. You know? I have a good heart, but sometimes I get very angry. Yeah, I do, Ahad. I'm a passionate person, and I have no patience for certain things, Ahad. I have no patience for certain things, and I'm not going to be used. Absolutely an attention seeker. That's exactly right. That's exactly what they were doing. They were an attention seeker. And I'm human. That's right. But again, I don't think I'm being inappropriate when I shut someone down. If you are being inappropriate, I'm going to shut you down. I'm not going to allow you to use my platform for your nonsense. Okay? You know, and that's what they were doing. That's what they were doing. They know I have an audience. They know there are people who are watching, and they're trying to use my platform to talk about what they think the world should be like. And that's not what we do here. You can discuss things with me. You can ask me questions about things, and we can discuss different viewpoints. But as soon as you start saying judgments, as soon as you start telling me that the Western culture is bad because of this and this and this, and you should do this and this and this, no. No. So, yeah. Some people just chase trouble. Yeah, you're right, Mike. Yeah. And I probably should do better to just ignore them. But if you want the truth of the matter is, I don't ignore them because I think that's part of my job is to tell people. Okay, I think I am I'm trying to be what I call a positive influencer, not just an influencer, but a positive influencer. Okay. And they think they're trying to be a positive influencer too, but they're doing it in a very judgmental way. They're doing it the wrong way. And so lead by example, not by proselytizing from a morally self-righteous standpoint. You know? So, yeah. Anyway. And that's right, Ahmed. Yeah. Because that's right. The reason why they focused on that topic is because that's what they want to talk about, to tell everybody what they think. They're trying to use my platform for their purposes. That's exactly what they're trying to do. Yeah. So, you know, again, I don't think I'm being me. But when you say I get very angry, you have not seen me angry. Believe me, you have not seen me angry. You've seen me firm, but you've never seen me angry. Okay? I told them in a very firm way that I run the show. I told them in a very firm way that their topic was inappropriate and that we aren't going to discuss it. And then when they thought they were being cute, no, now we're done. We're done. In English, we have a saying, fool me once, my fault. Or I'm sorry, fool me once, your fault. Fool me twice, my fault. Which means you can make a mistake and I'll forgive it. But if you do it again, it's my fault because I allowed you to do it again. So, Maria, hello, Maria. Good to see you. Thank you for being here again. You're so sweet. Okay. There is always someone to advise or oppose you. That's right. They have nothing better to do. You're right about that. But I don't have to deal with them very often here, to be honest. I don't have to deal with them very often here. It's only every once in a while. You do not have money? Me neither. Hello, Abajad. How can you improve your American accent? Well, Don't worry about your accent being perfect. Worry about your accent being clear. Okay, that's what I say all the time. Okay? Kay says, I'm learning new vocabulary, but the next day I forget it. And how do I fix it? Can I know any tips or tricks? Yeah, Kay, I said this a little bit earlier, but I'll repeat it again, which I repeat myself often. Learning vocabulary is like making a spider web. Okay? You have to make a strong spider web in your mind if you want to remember that word. Okay? If you only make one string, then you're not going to catch anything. But if you make many, 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 many strings, then you're going to catch the word. Okay, so what that means is you have to make many connections with the same word. How many different ways can you creatively find to interact with that word? Okay, can you write it? Can you read it? Can you listen to it? Can you find out where it comes from? Learn about the history of that word? Can you use it in a funny story or a funny sentence? Can you listen to it from different people who are speaking it? Can you read about it many different ways? So you have to interact with that word as many ways as possible. Each time you interact, you're creating a new connection with that word. The more connections you have, the more likely you'll remember it. You forget words because you don't have enough connections with them. That's how. Okay? That's why. Any grammar today? Dong Yan Qing. If you have a grammar question, maybe I can answer it. Hello, Sharon. Leftover pizza is not as delicious as fresh pizza. I think it depends on the pizza, Mona. There are some pizzas that I actually think are more delicious than fresh pizza. some leftover pizzas. Which country was he from? Ahad, I'm not entirely certain, but I think maybe your country. If I remember correctly, I think he was Indian. If I remember correctly. Thank you, Michael. Well, maybe you saw me once in January. Could be Ahad. Well, you've been watching me for a long time, so maybe you have seen me angry. But you know what, Ahad? Here's another thing. When I do my live streams, you get me as a real person, which means you get all of me. Why not take all of me? Can't you see? So what that means is some people on YouTube or on social media, they only present the pretty happy picture of a person, right? They only show you how wonderful life is. But I'm a human being, and I think it's better if we show truly how we really are. I'm not an actor. I'm not a broadcaster on the news or on some kind of a talk show. I am a real person. I think that social media creates too much false ideas about how people really are, right? When you go on Facebook and you see everybody posting and it's always positive, 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 it makes you think that their lives have no negativity or have no downside. There's no sadness, there's no anger, there's no being upset. That's not real. That's not real. But with me, you're going to get a real picture, which means that, yeah, sometimes I'm happy, sometimes I'm not. Hello, Alan. Hello, Marielle. Hello, Elena. Hello, Dara King. Hello, Hannah. Hello, Cedra. Thank you, Michael. Derek King, again, there are many ways to improve your vocabulary. Join my Friday live streams. It's often a vocabulary live stream. Okay, if you follow my YouTube channel, you can find all my YouTube videos about vocabulary. Okay? So join my YouTube channel and you'll find lots of things that will help you with your vocabulary. Okay? Hello, Derek. Hello, Elif. Hello, Charlotte. Can I please name some acceptable grammar errors in speaking English? Derek, in spoken English, there are many grammar errors that are acceptable because life is not a grammar test. In speaking English, in real life, the grammar errors that you need to avoid are ones that cause confusion, right? So if I'm talking about, if I'm saying something like, I need to go to the store tomorrow, but if I say I needed to go to the store, and I don't say tomorrow, but I mean tomorrow, that's a problem because I used needed, which is past tense. So now people think that maybe I don't need to anymore. I did before, but I don't now. So the grammar problems that you need to worry about when you're just using spoken English are ones that could possibly cause any confusion about your meaning, right? But the truth is that there are many, many grammar mistakes that you can make that don't really make a difference, right? If you say a umbrella instead of an umbrella, an is correct, but it's not going to cause anyone to think, oh, I don't understand what he's saying because he said a umbrella. That's not right. Okay? So, there are many grammar mistakes that are inconsequential in terms of the meaning. Okay? Hello, Noonie. Good to see you. Which is more important, IQ or EQ? Thomas, those two things are both important. I would actually say EQ is probably more important than IQ, but I think it is actually somewhat difficult to have a good EQ without a good IQ. Because EQ is about emotional balance and understanding in your life. And IQ is about being able to think about things thoroughly and properly, logically, and understand the world as it is. And they both have a positive side and a negative side. It's like Leo Tolstoy said something like, the more you know about the world, the more likely it is that you'll be depressed or upset. And I think that's true. Because if you really find out about what's going on in the world, there's a lot of terrible stuff happening often. So it's natural to be upset once you find out of all the terrible things, right? And EQ is somewhat the same way. The higher your EQ is, the more compassion that you are developing, I think. And so compassion, the more compassion that you'll have for people in different problems and situations. And that can be emotionally draining. So, but I think you need to have a good balance of both. The next etymology class will be Friday. Fake perfectionism. Yeah, I agree with that, Mohammed. Yeah, I agree with that. Hello, Aaron Yan. What's the best podcast to enhance English? I don't really know, Ahad. I think that I listen to a lot of podcasts on NPR, National Public Radio. If you like science, they've got one called Science Friday. They have one called This American Life. That's pretty interesting. Sometimes they have ones from, what's his name? Steve. Oh, I can't remember the guy's name now. There's a good one they have about traveling in around the world, but especially in Europe. I can't remember the host's name. It's Steve something. But if you go to npr.org, they have many, many podcasts that you can listen to. TED Talks are great. TED.com. Most slang is grammatically incorrect. Yeah, it be like that sometimes. Or, yeah, right. Yeah. Ain't that a shame? Right? Yeah, right. It don't mean a thing if it ain't got that swing. Do-wah, 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 do-wah. Yeah. Real people are in fashion now. Everyone is tired of fake perfection. That's right. That's kind of what I think, too. So, yeah, that means that occasionally you're going to see me a little angry. Occasionally you're going to see me a little upset. Maybe depressed. Maybe sad. I am a normal human being. I do have all of these emotions. That's right, Mai. Even if the grammar is slightly different or incorrect, communication is possible as long as the meaning is conveyed. Ding! You got it. Hello, Fatina from Afghanistan. I told you that Elon Musk has a very low EQ before. Well, yeah, I don't want to go into that too much, but I don't even think his IQ is actually that high, to be honest with you. I dispute that. I'm not a fan of the man at all. I'm not a fan of the man at all. I think he's a good model for what you should not be. So if you want to know what you should be, look at him and do the opposite, and you'll be fine in life, I think. Because I really think that nearly every decision that he makes is almost contrarian in nature, where he thinks he's a genius by doing the things that people don't do, but there are oftentimes reasons why we don't do them, you know? So, anyway. How to become a millionaire by 25? Have rich parents. Have rich parents who own an emerald mine. Yeah, Science Friday is a podcast for science. That's right. Fox News is more casual than NPR? No, it's not. No. Thomas, Fox News is not even news. They had to admit that in court. They actually had to go to court and admit that they are entertainment only and that they lie constantly because it's more interesting. You can get more people to watch by saying controversial things that are not true than actually saying things that are true. And they had to admit that in court. It's been proven. They had to pay, I can't remember how many millions of dollars, but they had to pay like $400-500 million or something because of a court case they lost about this type of thing. So, but no, NPR is super casual. It's super casual. They have so many different podcasts, and if you turn it on at any point in time in the day, a lot of people listen to NPR just because of how relaxing it is. It's relaxing, and they talk about culture, and they talk about music and life and food and interesting stories about people's lives. And, you know, they do have some news on there occasionally, too, and stuff. They do talk about news occasionally, but no, Thomas. No. Sorry. Just for your edification, there are some places in the world that don't even allow Fox to broadcast because of how much they lie. So there you go. That's not true for NPR, though. Hello, Hema. And here's my YouTube channel. He's successful, though. He's bound to be someone's idol. Yeah, I know. You know, he has lots of Elon bros. They're called Elon bros. The worshippers of Elon. It wouldn't matter what he did. You know, he could punch a grandmother in the face and someone would say it was a brilliant move. Yeah. But in general, I think... nothing about that man appeals to me. Hello, Dima. Good to see you. Long time no see. Okay. Zarak says, I'm good at understanding concepts and reading English, but I'm very weak at speaking. What's your solution? Practice thinking in English more. You don't have time, or you don't have the environment to practice speaking where you live, so you can't do that. But you can use English in your mind anytime you want to, as much as you want to, but you're not. So you need to start doing that more. Live English in your mind every day more. Your daily life, all the normal, regular things that you do in life. Can you think about those things using English? Can you cook dinner and think about it in English? Can you watch TV and think about it in English? Can you make your bed and think about it in English? Okay? Yeah, Noonie, right? Thank you for saying that. Yeah, we don't. Some people do, but... Anyway, I don't want to go into that because that gets into politics, really. But anyway, yeah. Am I speaking with care for you? Yeah, I think so. I am a teacher. Yeah, Noonie, you don't have to worry about that. I am a teacher. I am a teacher, Noonie, and I think I am trying to be what we call a positive influencer, okay? Not just an influencer. Anybody can be an influencer, but the majority of them, in my opinion, seem to be influencing people in somewhat negative ways. So I am trying to be a positive influencer, and I think I do a pretty good job of that most of the time. Not all of the time, because I'm human. I make mistakes too. I'm not perfect. But it's a fine line, is what we say, because I'm trying to encourage people to be positive and to do things that I think are valuable, like learning and growing. I think your duty as a human being is to learn and grow and evolve. Learn, grow, evolve. Learn, grow, evolve. That's our duty. I think that that's one of the most important parts of humanity at this stage in evolution, is that evolution in the past was always a passive thing that happened without our influence. But I do think that we live in a time period now where there are some people who are not evolving. That's because they're not learning and they're not growing. But I think there are some people who are actively trying to evolve. And it's really hard to see, because evolution is something that happens without our active knowledge. But I think that it's a time period where you have a choice, that you can actually try to affect your personal evolution as a human being. And that means learning and growing and evolving, and learning and growing and evolving. Okay? Thank you, Dara King. Kay, I already answered your question about new vocabulary. I already answered it a couple of times, as a matter of fact. I don't know, were you not listening, Kay? Because I've already answered that question about vocabulary a few times. That's right, Mai. As long as you live, you want to challenge something and grow. That's exactly right. You know, this is one point that I do sometimes make about some cultures in the world. I'm going to use an example, but please don't think that I'm necessarily judging them. I want you to see what I'm talking about. For example, when I lived in Taiwan, I had many, many students who clearly, I met students and I had friends who were adults. They're in their 30s, they're in their 40s, and yet their parents still make all their decisions for them. And they do that because the parents, well, one, parents are respected as a higher authority in everything there, right? So you're never right, they're always right. You know, that's kind of how it works. Like, whatever decision you want, it doesn't matter. You have to think about what they want first, right? And the reason they do that is because the parents think that they're protecting their children from making mistakes in life. They think, well, I know more than you do, so I'm going to make your decisions for you so that I can protect you so that you don't have any bad experiences in life. But guess what, everybody? If you have no bad experiences, then you cannot learn from them and you cannot grow. So I also met quite a few people who clearly had not grown up in some of the most basic ways because they were never allowed to make any mistakes in life. You have to let your children make some mistakes for them to grow up into proper human beings. Okay? That's the way I see it. You cannot go through life thinking that life is about trying to never make a mistake. Mistakes are going to happen whether you want them to or not. And pretending like you can avoid all of them is just a silly concept. Whatever choice you make, no matter how right you think it is, there's another mistake waiting for you around that corner. So you're going to have them. And it's better just to try to think about developing yourself to be able to grow from them, to learn from them and grow from them. That's a better choice or better concept, I think. And again, that's just my opinion. And I'm just a drummer. Can I recommend a good website for reading articles? Again, I would say NPR is a good one. Also, all the TED Talks. If you go to TED Talks, TED.com, they have transcripts for all of the things that they have, all the videos, right? So you can read them also, right? It depends on what you're interested in. You know, there are good websites for almost any topic, but you have to find them, right? You know, it's like going to a library, guys. The library has lots of books. Some of them are really good, some of them not so good. You have to take the time to look through and figure out which are the best books and then go to those books, right? Do I think evolution will eventually replace humans with robots? I think that some level of cybernetics is probably unavoidable at some point in the future. But no, I don't think it's like replacing humans with robots. No, I don't think so. Mai says, I want to carve out my own life. Yeah, that's kind of my thing is like, look, you get one life in this world, yours. You get one life in this world, yours. And when your children are between the ages of, 0 and 18, you can have a very significant influence on the choices that they make. Although I won't say a complete and total influence, especially once they get after the age of 13, 14, 15. You have to let them start making some decisions. If you don't let them make any decisions, then they won't know how to. And if you teach them that mistakes are bad and you should never make them, then when a mistake happens, which is inevitable, they're going to be crushed by it rather than learning from it and growing from it. But the point is you get one life in this world, yours. So make the decisions in your life. And when you have children, they have to be able to grow up to be their own person and make their own choices in life. You get one life. You don't have children just so you can make choices for them because you didn't get to make choices because your parents made all your choices for you. That's not the way it works. Break the cycle. Break the cycle, everyone. Maybe in the future we can directly upload English into your mind. That's possible. It's possible. Any suggestions to love reading? Well, read things that you're interested in. That's the most important part, is find things you're interested in. There are lots of things to read that are interesting. You just have to find them. But we should make new mistakes, not repeat our mistakes. I agree with that. I agree with that. However, the mistakes that your parents made happened in the past, and it's not the same time period now. So the decisions that they made were based on the time that they were living in. And you cannot always expect that the same information that worked for them 30, 40, 50 years ago is going to be useful or applicable now. You know, so the wisdom of your time is not the wisdom of all time. Okay? There are some wisdoms that are ubiquitous or all-encompassing, you know? There are certain wisdoms, but not many. Very few, to be honest. The grand wisdoms tend to be that way. But the majority of wisdoms are temporally based, which means they're based on the time you live in, the information you have at that moment. So while it's valuable, for example, every decision I make in my life, I do talk to my father and I want to know his opinion. I want to know what he thinks. But I still make my own decisions, and I still understand that some of the wisdom that he might have is from the time that he grew up in, and it might not necessarily apply to where I'm at in life now. Right? Is there a scientific website for videos for learning English? It depends on what kind of science you're talking about. Kenneth, how can you improve your English? That's a big question, Kenneth. Go to my YouTube channel, watch my YouTube videos. There are thousands of questions there that I've answered about improving English. Okay? I should consider being a preacher. See, that's one role I don't want to have, Johnny. So, I tell people what I think. But I want to make sure it's clear that I'm not trying to do it from a standpoint of judgment of you or others. If you like my viewpoints and my opinions, great, I'm happy. But again, I recognize that all of my viewpoints and my opinions are founded from my experiences in life, and my experiences are not the experiences of everyone. So what works for me may not work for you. Yeah. You overcame your parents' opposition and became an elementary school teacher. Well, good for you, Mai. But yeah, that's kind of, you know, when I was talking about Taiwan, most of Asia tends to be that way from what I've seen. That you know, a lot of parents there make all the decisions for their kids, even when they're adults. You know, when they're 30, you know, their parents tell you who you should or shouldn't marry, and where you should and shouldn't live, and what house you should and shouldn't buy. And to me, that's a bit strange. Again, to me is the key term there. If that is what you think works and what you think is good and valuable, then I won't disagree with you. I just personally find it strange, and I think that each person needs to be able to make their own decisions in life. And it's good to have the influence or opinions of people you respect, but that you still need to. It's like driving a car. At some point in time, you have to take the wheel and drive. And if your parents are in the back seat all the time telling you where to go, that's going to get old real quick, won't it? At some point in time, you have to be in charge of driving and knowing where to go and knowing what to do and knowing how to do it, right? You can't have your parents say, you should brake now and you should slow down now and you should speed up now and turn right and turn left. No. At some point in time, you have to drive. Well, thank you, Johnny. I'm glad you like what I say. You know, I mean, that's great. Again, you know, it's a funny position to be in because I am trying to be a positive influencer. So I do tell you how I think. I do tell you what I think about the world, but I'm trying my best, and maybe not always successfully, to do it in a way that makes sure you understand that I'm trying to be humble about it, that I'm not trying to pretend like I have all the answers, and I'm not trying to pretend like I know everything and that I'm better than everyone in some way. There are many, many parts of me that are arguably, I'm sure many people would say, flawed and less than functional. But I am a man of ideas. I do have many ideas. I do have many thoughts. I do have many opinions. But I always come back to one statement, you know, I'm just a drummer. You know, that's my humble statement to make sure you understand that whatever value you have in my thoughts and my ideas, I'm glad you think them, but just always remember, I'm just a guy. I'm just a dude. I'm just a guy. I'm just a man. I'm not special in some way. I don't have special knowledge. These are things that anyone could think about and come up with their own values and opinions similarly to mine. So, yeah. I'm just a drummer. What if you can't make your own decisions? Do you mean you're not allowed to, or you don't know how to? And again, everybody, follow my YouTube. If you have more questions about English, then go to my YouTube channel and you can watch lots of videos there. And there are lots and lots of videos about learning English and questions about grammar and vocabulary and all of that. Okay? There's less freedom in terms of making your own decision in India as well. Yeah, I'm aware. Yeah, I'm aware of that. Traditions are hard to break sometimes, and the older the tradition is, the harder it is to break. I understand that. Yeah. Am I in China? 不是，我就在美国。美国在中部，俄亥俄州，你知道吗？ Good night, Mai. Thank you. All is based on our own experiences in life and education. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Yasmin, I'm taking all questions for the most part. Whatever you want to ask me. You know, I like to talk to people about life. You know, again, not like I know everything, not like I'm the master of all answers. But I like to give you my perspective. That's all. I'm not trying to convince anybody that my perspective is the only perspective. Hello, Yasmin. Could I recommend my favorite book currently? Oh. You know, I've been so busy working on my Chinese recently, I haven't been reading anything new. I have a few etymology books that I've been trying to work my way through, but I don't know if you'd like those. I'll give you an interesting book that I think is pretty cool. It's called... What is it called again? Is it The History of the World in Six Glasses? Let me find it again. Hold on. Yeah, A History of the World in Six Glasses. That's a pretty good one. It's by an author named Tom Standage. He also wrote another book that I like called... An Edible History of Humanity. So I love history, and I like food history in particular. I think it's a very interesting topic. So those two books are really interesting. One is called An Edible History of Humanity, and the other one is called A History of the World in Six Glasses. Both of those are quite interesting, I think. Batul, again, yeah, I'm aware in Arabic culture that that's also very often the case, that you're not really allowed to make decisions, that your parents make them for you. And I understand that not everyone has this option or choice, but I still feel that there are many downsides to letting anyone else make your decisions in your life. I think there are many downsides there. Hello, Salma. Etymology is cool. Give you a recommendation. So let's see. The name of the books that I have now about etymology. I can't remember the title. There's one called the Etymologicon. That's a pretty good one. The ones I'm reading now are there they are. They're books by a guy named Mark Forsyth. One is called The Elements of Eloquence, one is called the Etymologicon, and one is called the Horologicon. Those are pretty good. Those are pretty good. Hello, new people. If someone wants to raise their hand, they can come up and talk with me. Oh, look, that's weird. It didn't say I had anybody with a hand raised, but there are a couple of people here. How about Nefibata? Nefibata, do you want to come talk to me? Write the book in the name in the comments. Okay. I'll write the authors. That would be easier. Tom Standage is... the author of the books that I like. Whoops, sorry, I wrote his name incorrectly. Standage. Tom Standage books are about food history, and Mark Forsyth, he writes books about etymology, and he has one called the Etymologicon. Okay? Lillian, I see you. Let me get a new person up for just a minute, okay? And then I'll see if I can talk to you too. All right. Hello, Lion. Lion, do you want to come talk to me? Lion. Hello, Lion. There they are.
Hey there.
Hello, Lion. How are you? Xin chào.
I'm fine. You know some Vietnamese, huh?
I only know how to say hello.
Yes, but
I know hello, and I know banh mi, and I know pho.
That's more than enough. Well, what's the thing? I only heard a little about the thing about choice, so I might have misconstrued it, with the with the analogy that you said that you shouldn't your parents shouldn't be in the back seat, telling you how to drive the car. Yeah, that's true, but it's not that you shouldn't uh, listen to your parents at all.
That's
You
not.
shouldn't let them.
Yeah, you're right.
Uh,
I didn't say that. I didn't say that. Like I said, every decision I make in my life, I ask my father's opinion. I ask
yeah,
him
yeah,
what he thinks, but he knows that I'm not going to just do what he tells me to do. He knows
yeah,
that I want his opinion, and then I'll make my own choice. So it's kind of like driving a car where your parents, maybe they've driven down this road many times, so they know the right way to go for them. But maybe there's a new road that they don't know about. There's a new road that was built that they don't know about. So for many years, when they drive to the store, they always go, first we go straight, then we go right, then we go left, then we go straight. There's the store. That's true. That's one way to get to the store. But now, look, there's a new road. There's a new road that you didn't know about. And it's a shorter road, and it's a nicer road. And so you have to sometimes make those decisions. Again, you want to hear what they think, of course, but their wisdom and their ideas and their thoughts are valuable. But I just think that at some point in time, you have to be the driver, you know? Yeah.
yeah. I was just about to say that, yeah, the analogy should be that you shouldn't let your parents dictate how you drive your car, but you should listen to them. If you want to change your gas, if something's broken down, you should ask your dad
I
how to do
completely agree.
something. And if
Completely
you
agree.
want to do it, then great. If you wanted to do it yourself with your parents' recommendation, then great. If you want to take it to a garage, that's great.
I agree. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
But I also think that, as a teacher, I've also known some parents who are just not good parents, and so there are occasionally times when you should ignore what your parents say because they don't know about getting gas and they don't know about maintaining the car and they don't make good decisions themselves. So there are times when that happens too. But yeah, again, every decision I make in my life, I ask my father what he thinks, and I want to know his opinion, and then I'll make my choice after I have that opinion and many other opinions. I usually get the opinions of my friends and my family and my parents, and then I make my own choices. And
Yeah.
sometimes
Yeah.
those choices might be wrong. It's possible that maybe he'll tell me to make a right turn and I make a left turn, and maybe it ends up being a bad choice. But that's okay because now I've learned. And
Yeah.
some things are bad, but
Then,
go ahead.
okay. And it's that they're just people too. They're
That's
just
exactly right.
girls and dudes and men,
That's
people
exactly right.
as I've grown, and I'm young, I really don't know much about the world. But as I've grown, I've realized that my parents are just people. They
That's
really don't
exactly
know
right.
anything about the world.
That's
They're
exactly right.
trying to figure it out themselves. So
That's very wise. But
then,
there are some parents who will never admit that's true.
yeah, it's
There are
fine.
some parents who have a lot of pride and think that they know the answers and their answers are the only good answers and the only correct answers, and they will never let somebody who's younger than them make a decision that's better than theirs or something. So pride has a lot to do with it. But again, I think guiding a child, it's kind of like being a baby, right? Babies, when they learn how to walk, every baby falls down. Every baby has to fall down and get back up, and that's part of learning how to walk, right? You cannot try to just make your baby so that they never fall down. That's not going to work. It's not going to happen. The baby is going to fall. So you have to just get used to it and understand that falling down is part of life and getting back up is what's important. You
Yeah, it's
know,
just a lot of trial and error.
that's right. That's exactly right. You're very wise for your age.
Uh, thanks. I try to think for myself before anything else. So, but in a few countries, it's a bit tougher because
I know.
tradition.
Yeah. You know, that's one thing. Somebody has asked me that question before. Why is it easier for Americans to make decisions for themselves, or why is it easier for Americans to do things differently? Part of the reason is tradition, right? So, for example, when I lived in Taiwan for 4 years. And and I often saw this kind of thing where tradition. It's so hard to break traditions there, right? But part of the reason why is because their traditions are 5 or 6 thousand years old, right? And when you have traditions that old, the older the tradition is, the harder it is to break that tradition. But America, as a country, the U.S.
So,
is only a few hundred years old, so none of our traditions are very old, which means it's a lot easier to just break them. And then there's a second part to it. America is a country made of people from all over the place. And when that happens, we see your traditions here. And so many of those traditions we say, "Oh, I like that tradition. Let's adopt that tradition." So pizza, that's an Italian food, but it's one of the most popular foods in all of America. Chinese food, very popular to eat here. So the point is that part of American culture is that we're very new and young, and therefore our traditions are not so rigid. It's easier for us to break them, right? They're not so old. And then we are also a group of people from many, many different places with influences from all those cultures. And we like that. So I love to be able to see a different culture and say, well, that's an interesting way to do it. I didn't think about it that way. Maybe I can do it their way. And so those two things together means that we have a culture that's more easily changeable, in that way. Yeah.
yeah, and I also think it's because personal rights and the right to self-expression and to think for yourself is
Yeah,
more important than in
that's kind
America.
of
I
part of
believe.
the U.S. culture is about independence and independent expression, but it's sometimes to a fault. So, for example, again, one thing
True.
when I was living in Taiwan, I did love the fact that the family is much stronger there. That people still live at home for much longer than just 18. Here, when you're 18, you're an adult. Go get your own place, have your own life. And there's some value in that too, but there's also a lot of value in the strength of family life in many cultures, not just Chinese culture, but Indians often live together and they have businesses together. Every business is a family business, you know, and Mexican culture too. That's often the way they do. Their families work together to help each other, and they really support each other in trying to get ahead in life. But American culture is sometimes like that, but very often every child is expected to get out into the world and do it themselves. And now it's become almost impossible for that to be true. The economics of life is so difficult that I think it's a disadvantage to think that you should go out into the world and do it only by yourself. I think there's a tremendous advantage in considering your family as to be like a team. You know, I'm a musician. I play in a band. I could go play by myself, but I prefer to have a band. That's my team. We support each other. We're all working towards the same goals, so we help each other to get there. You know, and so when I lived over there, I really thought that value was something I really admired. The fact that family is a bit more connected. I won't say stronger, but I'll say more connected. Family is important in America too, but because of this independence thing, it's also got a separation part to it where it's like, go away now. You're old and you're 18. It's time for you to do everything by yourself. I don't necessarily think that's a good thing. I think that we need to stop that tradition here, and especially because of how difficult life has become now economically. I think it's much better to just say, we're a family. Whatever decisions you make, we're going to help you, and we're going to help each other. You know,
Yeah,
brothers and sisters, and parents. They should help each other. You know.
yeah,
Yeah.
because I've heard some horror stories about families, like college in America is really expensive, right?
Oh yeah.
It's really
Stupidly
expensive.
expensive. Yeah.
But some parents, they fund their child's college tuition, but they don't give it to their child. They rephrase it as a loan. Parents
Right.
who actually try to get
Money back
that
from their
money
children.
back,
Right. Yeah.
and that's just so hard to wrap my head around.
Yeah. Although in Chinese culture they have something called the hongbao. Do you know what that is?
Nope.
It means red envelope. And so what that means
Ah,
is, yeah, you know that then. So like when you're a child, your parents give you money. But then when you get older and you're an adult, now you give that money back to your parents. So it's kind of the same thing, it really is kind of the same thing.
but of a different magnitude, though.
Yeah,
That's a different
you're
magnitude.
right. It's a very different magnitude. Yeah. Well, at least for most people, I think it is. Yeah. But I don't think that that's too often in college. I think that there are three different situations that happen here. One is some parents will say, if you want to go to college, you figure it out. You pay for it. You get the loans. You do what you need to do. And yeah, to be honest with you, I think that's particularly harsh and silly because when they were growing up, when my father was growing up, he had a job at a grocery store. He was the bagger at the grocery store. He put things in the bags. He was able to pay for his college with that job. You cannot pay for college now with any kind of a low paying job like that. It's not possible. So,
Yeah.
so I think it's a little unrealistic that those people think, oh yeah, well I did it myself, so you should do it yourself. That's just not the way it works anymore. The economics have changed. So there's that. There's some people who just say, if you want to go to college, it's all on you. You figure it out. I'm not giving you any money. Then there are parents. My parents paid for my education. They did not expect me to pay them back. And you know, there are a lot of parents, I think, that are like that. I think if you can afford it, and I think that many parents, it's one of the first things they do when they have kids. They start saving for college. No kidding. When they're babies, parents will start an account to start saving money for college for their children because that's how expensive it is. And then you're right. There are a few parents who will say, well, I'll give you money, but you're going to have to give it back. And I don't know about that. You're right. I think that's a bit odd. That doesn't seem like family to me. You know, if you're going to have a kid and you want them to have an education, I mean, maybe I think they're trying to think about it from a standpoint of, well, make sure you take it seriously. Like, so if I told my kid that, if I said something like, okay, well, I'm going to give you money, but you have to give it back, what would happen for me, I know what I would do. I would wait till they graduate, and then when they try to pay me back, I would say, never mind. I would say, use that money to invest in something. You know, you graduated, you did well. But there are lots of kids who go to college and they don't take it seriously, or they're not ready, they're not prepared, and so that's a big waste of money. There are lots of kids who go to college here and they blow it. You know, they for whatever reason. When I first went to college, I was not ready for college. At 18, I was not ready for college, and it was not a good decision for me. And so it's taken me a long time to figure out that. I don't think I was irresponsible, but I had some learning disability issues that made it really hard for me to go to school and finish college. I've figured those out now, though, so now it's different. And actually, guess what? I'm almost 49 years old, and I will be back in college again in January so that I can finish my degree. And
Well, good job.
well, thank you. Yeah, you know, to me, the learning never ends, and that's one other nice thing about the United States is the idea that college is only for when you're 18 to 22. That doesn't exist here. In the United States, you go to school anytime you want to go to school and improve yourself or change your career or do something new. There is no age. There is no age. In Taiwan, it's completely not heard of. You know, for somebody to be 30, 40 years old to go back to school, they just don't do that. They choose a career and you have to stay on that path forever. Even that, changing careers, is something that's much easier for us to do. I was a musician and now I'm an English teacher. My sister was a nurse and then she changed to being a pastry chef. Now she's back to being a nurse again. But the idea is that, you know, we're a bit more flexible about that. We want you to do what you think you want to do. You know, do what you think you have a passion for. You know, so but there are some people I know. I've seen lots of people who, when they went to college, you know, the thing about American college is 50% of American college is about learning and education. And 50% of it is socialization. It's parties.
That's true.
it's
It's a school,
it's
right? We're
it's
talking about business schools.
well, I'm just saying that when you go to college, you're off by yourself for the first time. You're living in a dorm or you're living with your friends in a house. And yeah, you have parties, you have, you know, events, you do things by yourself, and it's very easy to go overboard. You know, and so I saw that many times. Not everybody, almost all my friends, we partied a lot in college, and all my friends, they graduated and, you know, they did well. I saw a few who partied too much and they failed out of school, you know. But lesson learned. Some of them maybe went back later when they were more mature and they actually understood the value of it. Or some of them changed into a different career. They did something that didn't require a college degree, you know? Yeah. Anyway, college here is expensive, and it's not like college in Asia at all, from what I can see. There's a huge socialization component in American colleges. It's about meeting people and going out and, you know, drinking, you know, like it's the temptation of the things that you're allowed to do now that now you have to decide if it's a good idea to do it or not, you know, to go out with girls and boys and to go out with, you know, to have drinking and go to bars and have parties and all those things. Those are things that you are allowed to do now. And so we do. But it can be
Tempting.
yeah, it can be tempting. It can be a trap. You know, you can go too far with it, and no, of course you can't. There are certain things where you have to be able to buckle down and study, and if you're partying all the time, you're not gonna be able to. So there's a balance. There's a balance between the educational aspect of it, the academic aspect of it, and the socialization aspect of it. Yeah. So you sound like quite a bright kid. How old are you, by the way?
I'm passing 21 in a couple of months.
Wow, very good. And your English is excellent, by the way.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, very good. Are you in where are you in Ho Chi Minh, Hanoi? Where?
I'm in Saigon.
Saigon. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm in college right now, but I don't have a lot of time to practice English, so I'm just trying to make the most of my time.
Okay. Well, then let me give you my best tip for practicing English. There are not 4 parts of language learning. Okay? They always tell you there are 4 parts: reading, writing, listening, and speaking. There are 5. And the 5th one is thinking. And it's the most important one. And the great thing is you can think in any language, anytime, any place, anywhere. So I live in the United States, but I practice thinking in Chinese half my day. And I'm just living my life, just doing my daily life, nothing different. I'm just doing all the normal things I normally do, but I just do them with a different language in my mind. So they often say use it or lose it, right? If you don't use language, then you'll lose it. That's only true if you don't know how to think in the language. If you can think in the language, you can continue to use it and you can integrate it into your normal daily life and get lots of practice. Think about it. Most people, when they practice a language, they'll say, okay, well, I'm going to study for 2 hours every day. And that's good, but 2 hours is still only this much time, right? But if you can learn how to think in English every day, think about how much time you're actually getting practice. A lot, right? And if you can think it, then you can use it, right? So that's what I would say is it doesn't matter where you live, it matters what you think where you live.
True. Wow, that's wise.
Well, it's just a super important part of language learning. And again, it's something that I wasn't taught. When I was in high school, I learned German for 3 years, and I don't remember any of it because they never, ever told me about thinking. They never told me you need to use this in your mind. When you learn, the first thing they teach you is Guten Tag, which means good day, hello, in German, right? But they should have told me, okay, now when you're walking down the hall in your mind, you should look at people and think Guten Tag, Guten Tag, Guten Tag, so that it starts becoming part of your mental ability. You know, every language you learn, you have 2 different brains, right? And if you never use your English mind, it will always be a baby. And it'll feel like a baby's mind. But the more you use it, the more it grows up, and your ability to think in that language grows. So it's very important. But there's one very simple reason why they never teach this in school. Because how can you test for thinking? You can't.
Yeah.
I can't test to see what's in your mind. But it's the most important part of language is understanding. Like I tell people, if you grow up in Switzerland, you might know 4 or 5 languages natively, right? So they might speak Swiss and French and German and Italian all natively. And they don't have just one language that's like the main language, and then they translate everything in the other languages. No, if they're speaking Italian, they're thinking Italian. If they're speaking French, they're thinking French. If they're speaking German, they're thinking German. So if native speakers do it that way, you should too. It's the biggest mistake people make when they're doing a language is they think that the process is thinking in your native language and then translating everything into English. No, you have to develop your mind in English so that you can use it. Okay? Do you know have you ever heard of the painter Rembrandt?
Yeah, I know Rembrandt.
Yeah, Dutch painter, right? So he had a quote that I love. Yeah. He said, use what you know and you'll find out now what you do not know. And that's exactly how language works. So use what you know. But when you first start learning, English, you're going to look around and you're going to say, I don't know how to say that or that or that or that. It's scary. It's like a baby. Babies also, when they come into the world, they don't know any of these words, right? And that's a scary feeling. That's why many people don't do this trick, because it's too difficult in the beginning. They think it's impossible. But everything that you don't know how to say, you do know how to say it in your native language. Write that down. That's your homework. That's your homework. And this is also a really effective way to learn language because it's practically based on your life. It's based on the things you see and the things you do every day. That's the language we all need. We need to be able to use language to describe our real lives. But books often teach language. Like I have 4 pencils and 3 erasers in my my book bag. That's great, when you're 5, to 10 years old and you're in school. But when you're an adult, you need to be able to talk about your daily life and real things, So use what you know and you will find out now what you do not know. That's the process of thinking in English. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think it's also the fastest way to improve. It's a big challenge, so a lot of people think it's too difficult. but it's the fastest way to improve. And if you guys want to know how to think in English, go to my YouTube channel. There's a 5-minute video there that I made about my 4-step process. I have a 4-step process for teaching people how to think in English or any language, really. You can do this process with any language. Yeah. Could I say this again? Do you mean use what you know and you will find out now what you do not know? I think that's what you're asking about, the Rembrandt quote. Yeah. Anyway. Yeah, that's it. Use what you know and you will find out now what you do not know. Okay, that's true with just about anything, but especially language. It's so applicable to language. All right, I'll write it. And what are you studying, by the way?
I'm studying Com Sci.
Studying what?
Com Sci, computer science.
Oh, computer science. Here I was like, what's ComSci? That's okay. Use what you know and you will find out now what you do not know. Okay, cool. Computer science. Do you have a particular field in computer science you want to go into?
Man, computer science is ginormous, so
Yeah, it
there's
is.
a lot of things.
Yeah, that's right. That's exactly right. Yeah, it is. Yeah,
I'm just figuring things out. I don't know what to do now. By now.
do you like coding?
Yeah, I love coding.
Okay.
But it's not that I love coding. I love problem solving. I love to solve problems.
Okay. All right. Yeah, me too.
So coding is just part of the process.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. That's why I love teaching. Because teaching is about problem solving. Every student has something they need to learn, and you have to figure out how to get them to learn it. And every student learns differently, so it's a new problem each time. Yeah.
And it's so hard. Teaching is so hard. I tried once and I couldn't take a step. It's so
Teaching,
hard.
it can be. It can be. I started teaching when I was about 18. And it's been about 30 years now. And I started teaching music. I'm a drummer, if you see the drums behind me. Yeah, my first year of teaching was so stressful and so hard. But I remember one day I was teaching and I was very frustrated. I had a break and I was panicking because I was like, what am I doing? I don't know what I'm doing. This is terrible. Why did I agree to do this? And I called my teacher, right? So I'm at the music store and I called my teacher and I told him, I said, like, I don't know what I'm doing. I think I made a mistake. I'm not good enough to be a teacher. I don't know all these answers. And he said something that I never forgot. He said, you don't have to know everything, Mark. You just have to know more than they do. Be one step ahead of them and want to help. That's all. And so that's why now I say, teachers are not gods. Teachers are guides. Teachers don't know everything and they don't need to know everything. And your students, there's always at least one student who they think it's really funny to try to challenge the teacher by trying to ask them a question that they don't know. And they think that if a teacher says, I don't know, it means they failed. But that's not true. I love it when my students ask me something I don't know. My answer to them is always, that's a good question. I don't know, but I'll tell you what. I'm gonna look into it, and I'll come back to you tomorrow or the next day with an answer. And then I'm teaching them that, of course, I don't know everything, but I do know that I can go figure it out. And that's the part that they need to see. Life is about finding things that you don't know and figuring it out. Yeah. So.
That's such a great mentality. That's a mentality of wanting to learn more, right?
Yeah.
Wanting to improve yourself.
Of course. Yeah. And, you know, what they should be teaching us is that learning starts when you're born and ends when you die. You know, like they say, you can't teach an old dog new tricks. That's an English idiom, right? You can't teach an old dog new tricks. But that's not true. That's completely not true. The only reason we think that's true is because if you stop learning, then your brain stops understanding how to learn new things. But if you keep learning always, from day one until the end, then your brain stays fresh. And you're always available and ready to learn something new and grow. But there are many people who, especially in the older days, where once you became an adult, I know enough now. I don't need to learn anything more. You know, like, I know enough. And so they stop learning. And then, but that's the problem is then they get to be 70, 80 years old, and now they don't know how to use a computer, and they don't understand a lot of the new things that are happening in the world. You know, so it's always important to be learning new things all the time, no matter how old you are. No matter how old you are. Yeah. Learning is never ending. Yeah, I know. The human race would be a much better, they'd be in a much better place if everybody understood that learning is something we should all be doing all the time. We should be learning, growing, and evolving. Learning, growing, and evolving constantly. Yeah. So, Lion, it was really great to talk to you. I want to try to bring up at least one more person here before I take a break and go do my work. But it was really great to talk to you. Seriously, you are a bright young kid and you've got great English. And please make sure you come back and see me again. Make sure you follow and come back and see me again. I'm here every Monday through Friday for the most part. I'm here. Okay.
Right. It's great talking to you.
Yeah, it was
I
wonderful.
hope you have
talking
a
to you.
day.
Yeah, it's
Is it day
daytime
over
here.
there?
Yeah, it's daytime here. I'm on the other side of the planet. So it's 12:30 p.m. here right now. So it's lunchtime.
All right. So, bye.
Have a good night. I'll see you next time, my friend. Bye-bye.
Goodbye.
Smart boy indeed. Okay, let's get Lillian up here for a minute. Hello, Lillian. How are you?
Not bad.
And it's late there. Are you tired?
A little bit, and when I finish talking with you, and I do not sleep.
Oh, Lillian, I can't really understand you very well. The audio is not very clear.
I mean, when I talking with you,
You'll go
and
to sleep.
I will go for.
Okay. After you finish talking with me, you'll go to sleep. Okay. All right. Do you have anything you want to talk about or any questions for me?
No, yeah, I have got one question, and how I can practice my American accent around.
How can you practice your what well?
American accent.
Can you write it for me?
Okay.
English accent or American accent. Okay. Well, your American accent, yeah, the audio is not very clear, I know. Your American accent, to work on your American accent, here's what I would suggest to you, Lillian, is get a piece of paper, and I want you to write down 10 words that are difficult for you to say. Okay, on the top of that paper, write down 10 words that are hard for you to say. So maybe it's difficult for you to say the R sound in English, so there's an R word that's hard for you. Or maybe it's the TH sound. And write down those words across the top of the paper, okay? And then underneath each word, I want you to look at that word. Look at the word and figure out, why is this word hard to say? Why is this word difficult for me? What sound is it that's difficult for me? Then you have to do a little research online and find many other words that have the same sound. Okay, other words that will be difficult for you to say. Then write those words down underneath. So when you finish, you'll have a paper that has 10 columns of words. Okay? And those 10 columns will all be words that are difficult for you to say well. So that's a really good way to target your accent to try to improve it. Okay? You can practice saying those words every
Okay.
day.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
That's what I call your target
Okay.
accent improvement list.
Okay. Then thank you so much.
You're
And
welcome.
I'll check with you tomorrow
Okay.
if I have any questions.
Okay. All right. That sounds good.
So,
Oh, I lost you, Lillian. Okay. Well, Lillian, have a good night. Sleep well. I'll see you next time. Okay. Let's see. Yes, teachers are not gods. Teachers are guides. Can I read Chinese? 我可以啊，可是我不常联系度，所以我觉得我读的中文不好的。可是，我最近联系读的中文，在哪里我有一些。中文的度数。Hello, Andrea. We're talking about stuff. Anything. Hello, Alex. Good to see you. Guys, if you have general questions about English, a question like, how can I improve my English? Faida Mustafa, I'm going to be honest with you. When people come and ask me a question like, how can I improve my English or how can I learn English? To be honest, that's not a very good question. Okay? Because it's too big. My teacher, many years ago, he told me this. He said, Mark, if someone wrote a book about the question you have, it's not a good question. Because no one can give you a proper answer about something that someone wrote a book about. Okay? So it would be better if you thought of a more specific question about English. And Mustafa, you know how to improve your English. I don't know you, but you know you. So you need to think about what do you need to do, okay? I will give you this. Go to my YouTube channel. My YouTube channel has hundreds of videos. Hundreds of videos that have thousands of questions that I have answered about English. Okay? So if you go to my YouTube channel, you will find many, many, many answers about how to improve your English. Okay? Okay, hold on. I'm trying to catch up with all the comments. Create an audio room. Yeah, Yasmin, I usually do voice rooms on Tuesdays and Thursdays and sometimes on the weekend also. So follow me and you'll get notifications. I usually do live streams on voice rooms on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And for you, it might be a little bit late, though, because sometimes I do my voice room in the afternoon in America. So that'll be late evening in where are you? Egypt, I think. Yeah. Ravina says, I want to have long conversations, but when I speak with my friends, I just answer in one line. Well, then stop doing that. Language is like drawing a picture. Draw a better picture. Describe more. Use your language to describe the picture you're trying to create in your mind. Okay? Use your words to try to describe something, okay? Do I talk about politics here? No, I'm sorry, Alex. We don't talk about politics or religion at all on Hello Talk, okay? No politics. Sorry, Alex. I have opinions, of course I do, but we don't talk about those things here. Belen, you need to go to the restaurant and do some shopping. I need to go to the store and do some shopping too. Okay. So you're not a teacher, but when you teach the neighbor's children, you feel happy. Well, if you teach the neighbor's children, then you're a teacher. Teaching is not something that I think is always about having a degree. Teaching is about having the talent to help others learn. Amkar, you should go to my YouTube channel and watch my YouTube videos. Everybody, I have about 71,000 followers on Hello Talk, okay? I only tell you that. I'm not trying to brag, but I am trying to say that I have 71,000 followers because these people think I have good tips about learning English. But I can't give them all the time, every day. I repeat myself all the time. I really do. But if you go to my YouTube channel, I promise you, just choose one of my live streams and watch it, and you will hear me answer almost every question that you have. Somebody else has already asked me, and I've answered. Okay? So go to my YouTube channel, and you will get a whole lot of advice. Okay? My advice for English language learners, okay? Language, it has 8 parts. Reading, writing, listening, speaking, grammar. Reading, writing, listening, speaking, thinking, grammar, vocabulary, and pronunciation. Let me say those again. Reading, writing, listening, speaking, thinking, grammar, vocabulary, and pronunciation. You need to write those things down and make a specific plan for learning and practicing each of those things. Okay? Okay, we have some people who want to come talk to me again. I'm almost finished with the questions here. Hold on. Yusuf, I think the best way to improve your writing now is using AI. Use ChatGPT to help you improve your writing. It's great for that. Okay? Do I think what? Do I think it is important to learn the original English alphabet like ABC? Well, yeah, it's pretty important, Kathy. It's pretty important. Okay, and my YouTube channel is right here. Okay, I am just about caught up. Happy birthday, Eugene Marie. Yeah, for you, I'll play a song for you, sure, when I'm finished here. Yeah. All right, let me get somebody on the stage. Let's talk to Lola first, and then we'll try to see if I can get somebody else on the stage, too. Lola, come talk to me. Although I am getting tired. Hello, Lola.
I'm sorry, I don't want to show my face.
Yeah, okay.
Is it okay?
Yeah, of course. It's fine. Assalamu alaikum. How are you?
Thank you. Good, and you?
I'm okay.
Fine?
I'm all right. And what can I do for you today? How can I help you?
I'm trying to speak more because I'm so shy and I get so nervous when I talk to strangers. So yeah.
Okay, well that's a good. I can give you my tips about that. one of the first tips I tell everybody about learning a language is that learning a language is kind of like learning a musical instrument. It's a performance. Okay? And if you want to perform, that means you have to be on stage in front of people and you have to be able to perform in front of people. Okay? And I also say it's like being a warrior. Okay? A warrior is a fighter. Okay? And Lola, if I'm a warrior and I'm in the army and if my general tells me you must go fight today, can I tell the general, today I feel a little bit shy. I don't think I can fight.
No, you can't.
You can't, right. He tells you to fight, you go fight. So that's what I mean by language is like being a warrior. You have to fight, and that means you cannot let your fear control you. Okay, so what are we fighting when we learn a language? You fight your fear. That's the first thing you must do. You have to fight your fear, kill your fear in order to be able to speak well. And Lola, in music, there are many musicians or actors or performers who are shy people. They're shy people, naturally.
They are introverts?
Yeah, they are. Of course they are. There are some, okay? But when they perform, they have to take that and put it in a box for later.
Yeah.
Because it's not helping them during their performance. Okay? So, and then confidence is very important. You have to build self-confidence as a person. And the final tip I give is that mistakes are not bad, mistakes are good. Okay? So stop worrying about your mistakes, because many people are so worried about mistakes that they don't practice speaking at all because they're afraid to speak imperfectly, right? They don't want to speak unless it's perfect, but that means they're not practicing almost at all. It's much better to speak and make mistakes and practice more than it is to barely ever speak because you're afraid to speak unless it's perfect. Okay?
I don't think it's about this.
Okay,
I'm
good.
not just used to it.
Okay, well then, yeah, but
At
you know
all.
what? I'm a musician, and so I can remember I've been on stage thousands of times now, thousands and thousands of times, and I'm comfortable. I'm very rarely that nervous. I'm almost more excited when I have to play in front of people now, you know? I've played in front of audience of 10,000 people before. But when I was 15, I remember I had my first performance and I was scared to death. Okay? So each time you perform, you get more comfortable doing it.
That's true.
So yeah, that means you just need to do it more. It's okay if you're a little bit nervous, you're a little bit shy, you're a little bit afraid right now, but do it more and more and more, and you'll get better and better each time. Okay? And you're talking with me and you sound fine.
Thank you. I'm shaking actually.
No, relax.
Because I'm not social.
Okay.
At all.
You know, that's one of the funny things about social media is it allows us to be social in a less scary way. You know?
It is.
You know, yeah, you're talking with me. You don't have to.
I'm laughing. I'm just laughing.
You don't have to turn the camera on. You can just listen and talk and just interact, and it's less pressure, I think. You know, so
Yeah.
And I think group situations are always good too. You know, when you're in a group situation, the pressure is shared. It's not just on you. You know, you feel like there's a group of people who are there to talk. So that's another thing to keep in mind. Okay, but honestly, let me give you another thing that'll help you. You speak pretty well, Lola.
Okay. Oh, thank you.
Okay, confidence
I
is such an
appreciate
important
that.
part. Yeah, so I'm an English teacher. I've been doing this a long time, and I'm telling you, you speak really well. So remember those words of confidence next time you're trying to speak, and use that as, you know, use that as your sword. Okay, that's should give you some confidence now that you have a weapon to fight with. You know, you have the confidence of a native teacher who has told you, you're doing good. So keep
Should I
going.
kill?
Okay. All right. You should kill your fear. That's what we're killing. All right.
Connection is poor.
Yeah.
Yeah, I should kill it, yeah.
That's right. Yeah. But again, it takes practice. It takes time.
It gets so bloody.
Well, it's not a
It
bloody.
is.
It's not a bloody war, but it can be a difficult one, because again, it's a personal.
Yeah.
It's a personal
Nothing
battle.
is easy.
It's a personal battle. Yeah, and self-confidence and comfortability is a difficult thing, but you can't perform well if you're not comfortable and relaxed. Okay.
I should earn that.
It takes time, but again, as a teacher, I've teaching is like performing too, because you're in front of a class. It's like an audience, and
It's true.
so again, the more you do it, the easier it gets. And again, I can remember the first time I had to teach, and I was nervous. But I've taught many thousands of times now. Do I seem nervous anymore?
No, not at all.
No, I'm not. I'm very comfortable in this role now. I feel confident in what I do. And yeah, look, you everybody's saying you sound great.
Oh, really? I didn't notice.
Yeah. So you sound great. Just keep trying, keep working on it. You'll be fine.
Oh, thank you.
I'm sure.
I want to say that you are a good teacher as well.
Thank you. I do my best.
You're pretty good.
I do my best.
Yeah, I'm happy that I was able to go on stage and say some words. I don't know. I didn't speak that much.
You spoke enough. You spoke pretty well, and you spoke enough. To be honest with you, when I hear you, I don't hear somebody who sounds shy at all. I can hear your smile, and that's always a beautiful thing.
Aww.
Yeah. When you can
Thank
hear
you.
somebody smiling, that's a wonderful thing. A smile is a really great way to build your own confidence. So you're smiling. and
Okay, I'm
that's good.
blushing. I don't know why.
That's okay. Blushing is good too. So Lola, it was really great to talk with you. Make sure you come back and see me again sometime and get more practice. Okay?
I just downloaded the app. I don't know how to use it just yet.
Click on my picture and you can click the follow button, and then you'll get notifications for all of my live streams and my voice rooms and anything I do. Okay?
All right.
All right.
Oh, thank you for having me.
It's my pleasure. Afwan.
Goodbye. Afwan.
Okay. Take care.
You
I'll
speak
see you
Arabic?
next time. A little bit. A few words. I know a few words.
Do you want to learn some words? I can teach you.
Sure. Why don't you teach me one new word while we're here? Let's see. Teach me how to say, I know. Teach me how to say it's delicious.
إنه لذيذ.
Say it one more time, a little bit slower.
إنه لذيذ.
Inahu
لذيذ.
naviv. Inahu naviv.
لا لذيذ.
Laviv.
La?
Inahu laviv.
No.
Laviv.
It's it
I
spells
see.
like
Yusuf,
L.
Yusuf wrote it for me. Inahu laviv.
You should replace the th with a z.
A Z.
So
Okay.
yeah,
Is it the first TH, the second TH, or both?
Both.
Inahu laziz.
yeah, that's correct.
Okay, there we go. Inahu laziz.
Congratulations.
All right, there we go. See, I like to learn new words. Yeah, Inahu laziz. All right, I can remember that. All right, well, thank you for
Okay.
teaching me that. I appreciate it. I appreciate that very much. And I will see
You're
you next
welcome.
time, Lola.
Okay.
Okay, take care.
Goodbye.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Inahu laziz. All right, I learned a new one. Good. Mona, what is he? Let's see. Mona asked, "Can you explain what if we want to think in English but we get distracted easily?" That's normal. That's natural. I think that you should have like a note on your phone or a notepad or notebook that you carry with you sometimes. And when you have something that you don't know how to say in English that you want to learn how to say, write it down. So writing things down will help you stay on track. Writing things down will help you stay on track. Okay? Okay, so guys, it's almost 1 p.m. here. I've been here for 3 hours and 40 minutes. Oh my goodness. It's actually been more like 4 hours because, yeah, I've been here for 4 hours, guys. I need to take a break. I need to go eat lunch and take a break. Okay? Cinderella, yes, I can help you practice for that if you want to next time, okay? But yeah, I've been here for too long. I need a break. But please follow my YouTube channel. If you want more, go to my YouTube channel. You can find many, many, many videos to watch with lots of tips there. Okay, and you can also go to my website. There's my website, afiecenglish.com. Annie, you're killing me. Okay, 5 minutes, Annie, and then I have to go. Okay? My stomach is growling. Hello, Annie. Xin chào.
Hello, teacher. Xin chào. How are you today?
I'm pretty good. I'm a little hungry now, but I'm pretty good.
Yeah, I'm sorry for interrupt your lunch, but yeah, just only 5 minutes for me, really.
That's okay. Well, it should be 5 minutes for you, too, because it's very late there. You should go to bed.
Yeah, but tonight I couldn't sleep well, so I can't. Yeah, I tried, but I
understand.
but I couldn't sleep. Yeah.
I often don't sleep well recently, too. So do you have a question for me, Annie, or something you want to ask me about?
Yeah, I have one question for you. Do you prefer living in countryside or you prefer in the big city?
Both. Where I live now is in the suburbs of the United States, so it's not really the countryside, but it's not the city. And it's closer to the farm areas of the countryside is closer to nature than it is to the city. But I also lived in Taiwan for 4 years, and I lived in a big city called Taichung, which was about 3 million people about. And it was a big city with lots of city stuff. And so I've lived in both cities and in the suburbs or countryside.
Yeah.
But I'm more of a city guy, to be honest. I like cities.
Yeah. So have you been travel in Vietnam before?
No, but I really want to. No. When I lived in Taiwan, I did do a little traveling around. I went to Japan, I went to Hong Kong, I went to the Philippines, and I was in the Seoul airport in South Korea, but I never actually saw the country. But Vietnam is pretty high on my list. Thailand and Vietnam are two countries that I really want to visit. I want to see more of Japan. I want to see more of the Philippines because I really enjoyed it there too. But I would definitely like to go to Vietnam and definitely would like to go to Thailand. Both of those are high on my list of places. I love Vietnamese food. I love Thai food, both of them.
Yeah, I see.
Yeah.
Or someone recommend for you, you should come and try.
Yeah, I would
Your
love
food.
to. Yeah, I love
Yeah,
pho
okay.
and I love banh mi's and spring rolls. I love all those things. Yeah,
Yeah,
I would love to come. It's high on
yeah,
my list.
yeah. Yeah, I think I let you go for lunch. Yeah, thank you for being me on the stay and talk with you and see your good voice. Your voice should very attractive to me to listening to.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah,
And it was great to talk to
yeah.
you as well, Annie. So I'll see you next time. Make sure you come back and see me again, okay?
Yeah, I will try the best I can quickly. I don't want to be late and Matt interrupt you for lunch.
No, that's
Yeah,
okay.
thank you very much.
Okay.
Yeah.
Take care, Annie. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.
Yeah, see you.
Yes, thank you, Rose. Yes, it's time for me to go have some lunch and do some of my work on my Chinese and on my book and many other things. But again, go to my YouTube channel here if you want more. Please go to my YouTube channel, watch my videos, like my videos, share my videos, leave a comment on my videos. All of those things will help me. I'm here spending a lot of time trying to help you, so you can help me just by doing that. Share my videos, like my videos, leave a comment on my videos, all of those things. And please go to my website also if you want private lessons. I am a teacher, okay? If you think I'm helping now, I can help you a lot more if you buy private lessons from me. If you buy private lessons from me, I will create a personalized special learning program for you specifically. Okay? And I will help guide you through it. Okay? So go to my website and you can find my private lessons and sign up for those there. Okay? So it's time for me to go, but thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for following. Thank you for participating. Have a good morning. Have a good afternoon. Have a good evening, wherever you are in the world. And don't forget to be a language warrior. You have to be strong. You have to be confident. There's no place for shyness in language learning. Okay? All right. Thank you guys. Good night, everyone. Good evening. Goodbye. I'll see you next time. Bye.